or all of them combined, that was the goal of us starting this amazing community. And I want to tell you, it has absolutely been that. What a blessing.
Mhm.
So, Andrea, go ahead, Andrea Rosser. I'd like to introduce Andrea. So, we're going to go back and forth. But, Andrea, if you will, kind of introduce Billy and Andrea, please.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to be on here. Billy and Andrea are near and dear to my heart because I've had the pleasure of really knowing them mostly on social media. So I've gotten to, see them on different Zooms and follow. Andrea puts the best posts that she's just
She
really great.
does.
Oh
Amazing.
my gosh. Shares her heart, shares great information. It's a great resource. So I've just loved enjoying watching both of you. I think Billy and I have similar hearts in that we are helpers. So you can see that in Billy. He loves to help other people. He's always offering, can I help with this? Can I help with that? And that's rare to find. So excited to hear about this level up transformation that they've created and what they've done
Yes,
recently.
it is. Sorry, I was double tasking here a little bit. And so, let me ask a question for all of our live viewers as you're tuning in or you're watching the recording at some point in time. In the comments below, have you ever wanted to be a part of a community that just encourages, that keeps you accountable, that challenges you to just win the day, to be 1% better each day? Imagine if you could just get a little better each day, just 1% better, what that would look like over the course of 365 days, what that would look like over the course of a year, just taking action. Well, Billy and Andrea are living proof that that's what they're doing in their life. And Billy, Andrea, thank you for being on this with us. And first of all, let's start off by just let everybody know where y'all are from and kind of your occupation.
I actually currently we live in Kansas City. It's actually Overland Park outside of Kansas City, and I currently
does that mean you're a surely not a Chiefs fan?
Oh yeah, big time, both of them.
Okay.
And I currently. It's kind of funny you asked this. I work for FedEx, but in 2 weeks I will not be because it's part of our level up. And so it's really changing a lot for our lives. So.
And obviously I live in the same place, but I'm a lead at Sam's Club Bakery. So I work pretty early mornings, usually 8 to 10-ish hours a day.
Yeah.
But between us, the schedules are different, and that's something that we've really been trying to work on, getting them similar. So that's our next step in the level up journey.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And first of all, just so everybody knows, I have witnessed on different videos Andrea baking, and let me just say she's got some mad skills. So one of the things that I love what you talk to us about, and it's not really the reason I got you on tonight because I want to talk about your recent accomplishment, but time freedom, I know, is something that is super important to both of you. And to be able, you said it, Andrea, to be able to join together kind of on a same time schedule rather than working different time schedules. Anybody that's watching this, if you've worked different time schedules than your significant other, maybe put it in the comments. Yeah, me, I understand that. I understand the pain points of that. But how important is that for you guys to bring your time schedules together and to buy back, I guess you would, that time? That's something that you can't get any more of. So any thoughts on that?
I mean, we like to do things together, and where we're at right now, he works nights, I don't. You don't get to go do those things together. And when you have a couple of days off, you lose sleep to try to make up that time. But you also can't build a business that way either. And that's what we really want to do. So
doing it together is really important to us. We used to work together all the time. Absolutely loved it. And I have gotten to the point now where I really miss it. We really want that back in our lives.
Well, I totally get that, Andrea. I know you do too. We hear that a lot, and I'm speaking of Andrea Rosser now because
Very
since we got
confusing.
two Andreas on tonight. So one other thing that I want to add is, you're also making a decision to really level up your health, and I love what you both are doing. And before we get into your recent accomplishment, tell us just a little bit of over the last 60 days of being a part of the Level Up Life community on Facebook and the accountability and just the encouragement. Andrea, maybe you go first. What have you been able to accomplish over the last 60 days in the form of maybe stuff that we don't really like to talk about, like weight loss or maybe inches, or maybe a different change in your eating habits? Could you maybe take it and start?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of the goal. And in blunt words, is to lose some weight and to tone up and to do all of those things. But when you have a group to come back to every single day and kind of report where you're at, it holds you accountable a little bit more than just holding yourself accountable, which I know we've talked about. I think Andrea's talked about it before, making those promises to yourself. But it's a little bit easier to keep those promises when you have a group holding you accountable too. So I think that's been a big difference for me, because I'm really good at making promises to myself, and then I get stressed out and there go the promises.
So would you want to dive off and say any personal victories as far as weight or
in the last
blood
60
sugar?
days? Yeah.
or blood sugar?
I am a type 1 diabetic, for those that don't know. In the last 60 days, I have lost 10 or 12 pounds. I've lost some inches. I haven't measured up on those and kept those current, but it's been good to feel good. And that's the biggest change, I think, for me. So
before we get to Billy, I want to ask you one more question, because we might have some people out there that either are, a diabetic, or, and I know there's different types and you're type 1, but they might have relatives that are, and so could you take me through maybe a pain point of being, having diabetes, and then what maybe one tip that you found that has really helped you with definitely not curing that, but definitely aiding in a better walk of life, leveling up your life in a positive way?
I mean, there's a lot of pain points when it comes to having something that you live with like this. It affects every aspect of life. And Billy's had to come alongside and learn that with me, and I appreciate him for that. But I would say the products that we have help a lot. I think the Slender Ice drops have been the biggest. It kind of taught me a new way of eating, but it also does help balance you out. And while our bodies don't work quite the same way as the rest of y'all, it still makes a difference. It still makes a difference in how your body responds to food and how your body responds to the insulin you give it. So can't say enough about the products we have and what they will do for you if you take them and use them like they're supposed to be. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Andrea or Ross, or anything you want to add before we go to Billy?
Well, there's two things, and I'll try to be fast, but one, I love how you said it's good to feel good. Like, isn't that all of our goals? Like, yeah, we might want to look better in our jeans, or, be able to do more sit-ups or something. But really what it all comes down to is we just want to feel good. And I love that you said that, like, it's good to feel good. And then the other thing I wanted you to just touch on was really how you support each other. Because you just talked about how he supports you in your journey with having type 1 diabetes. But what I've seen a lot of is how you've been supporting him through his journey to a marathon. So what did that kind of look like for you?
It's not easy always. But I think the phrase that sticks with me is probably something he'll bring up as well, that he's learned a lot, and that's to run your own race. As much as I wanted to be able to do something like this with him, to physically be able to run and to do things like that with him, that wasn't what my race was meant to be. And that was something I had to learn to work with. So then you take that and you're like, well, what can I do to help support his journey while also leveling up in mine? And part of that was keeping him fueled, keeping him healthy, giving him what he needed to get where he wanted to go. So I kind of made it my personal challenge to not just I mean, with things like that, a lot of athletes are going to carb load. They're going to do whatever they can to get the calories. I wanted to make sure he did that in a way that was healthy, which was a little bit of a challenge and a little bit of a different mindset than a lot of people have, but I felt good about accomplishing that. So,
well, and I love this, Andrea, and we're streaming live right now on Level Up Life community and our Facebook group. I would love for you to, if you could, in the comments, Billy and Andrea, share some of your before and after pictures, because I'm looking at both of you right now, and you were beautiful, beautiful creatures. But you know, humans might be better that I say you're beautiful humans before, but I'm looking right now, and I don't want to make you blush, but I mean, your skin tone, like Billy, I want to tell you, dude, you have absolutely, like, what does my daughter call it? Glow up. My daughter says glow up. She's in high school. I had to look up what glow up meant, but dude, your skin tone. And Andrea, I look at you and just your skin tone and the way you guys look. I mean, has hydration been a big part of your daily regimen? Can one of y'all talk about that? Because I don't know, but I just know looking at you, there's just a big difference.
I know Andrea's really took the lead on that early on. She would carry a gallon jug around. And so whenever I started this journey, I've got 4 1-liter bottles, and I fill them up at the beginning of the day and I empty them out. And so it helps a lot. It makes a huge difference. But once you get used to drinking that amount of water, you just hunger for it. You want it more and more. And it also, with the way I do it, because with her, she just does water. But for me, I've got to have certain things in just to help support me throughout the day whenever I'm running. So you have these, so I use Elite in one of them. I use some other products that help you get your nutrition you need to have in the water or along with my water. So it doesn't take any time. It's pretty much gone. So I'm actually looking for fill up another one. So, but yeah, it makes a huge difference. And I have noticed that too, but we also use a lot of our skin products. I do. It helps too. It's amazing, not just what the water does, but when you add the extra elements to it that we have as products, it makes a huge difference, and you don't have to worry about it, basically.
Well, it's Andrea Rosser, I know you're seeing this too as I'm looking at them, and I was noticing in some of your pictures, so I'm excited maybe if you can show in the comments some before and afters over the last couple of months, because this is what I want people that is watching this to see, that first of all, our supplements work. When you talk about the Elite product, when you talk about the Slenderize and the approved food list, and you talk about, you know, the Lucem product brand for your skincare, it's a noticeable difference. I mean, I see it on Andrea Rosser. She uses the skincare, you know, religiously, and I just, that excites me. And then when you supplement the supplements, which is what you're doing with the way you eat and the conditioning, the daily, you know, routine that you're doing physically, it's changing your whole, not probably mental game, your whole everything. And so let's talk about that, Billy. You just finished.
Yeah.
You started off over 60 days ago. And I remember when you told me, listen, I'm going to run a marathon.
Yeah.
And somebody might be watching this going, there's no way I could go from 0 to a marathon. Don't do that. Don't think like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to hear what Billy talks about in his experience and what happened over the last 60 days. And then as of yesterday, October the 3rd? Yesterday, yeah. October 3rd? Yeah, October the 3rd, just completed a full marathon, and I tracked it. I got to be a part of it. I got to send him text when he was, you know, moving through the marathon, and then talk about a little bit about your journey through that 60-day experience, and, you know, and what that meant for you.
Well, there's certain milestones you have in life, and I've done some things in the past that you can go, wow, I did that. But there's something I've always wanted to do, and that was to run a marathon. And I got to that point where it's like, okay, that's something I'm not going to do. And when we started this level up, I thought, what can I do to really level up my life? And we talked about it, and I just told her that I would really like to give that a shot. But really today, during Coach's Corner, it talked about being teachable. And that was one of the first things I had to be, was teachable. So I reached out to Lance McAllister and just asked him, said, hey, would you help me in this journey? And he said, yeah. So we started this process, and tremendous support from our Level Up Life community. There's not a day that I didn't post something that I didn't have somebody saying, you could do this, you could do this. And it helps so much inside that you can pretty much conquer anything. Now, I will say, during this training process, and Lance could back it all up, Andrea definitely, there were some pains in there. There were some times where my body said, not today. But it didn't say you couldn't ever. And so I would back up. I would take the time to be taught what I need to do from Lance, and I would reach out to other individuals and learn from them. And as I went along, I slowly really realized that I was getting there. The thing that really got me was whenever I did the largest run before this, and that was about 2 weeks ago, 18 miles. Every mile hurt, but I did it. And because I did that, I knew without a doubt that I could do the marathon. And that was Brent, I'll tell you what, Lance and I talked about this. There's an emotional point where when you accomplish something, and I don't think it really matters what it is, but when you realize that you're going to accomplish it, it's an emotional thing. And I think part of the reasoning for me that it was so emotional at the 25th mile, I mean, Andrea saw it in my face. Bill and Susan were there, and they thought, what, is he hurting that bad? No, it wasn't that. It was because I was realizing that I was finishing something that I've always wanted to do. And it wasn't just me that was going to that finish line. It was everybody that was in our Level Up Life community that encouraged me and that pushed me and said, you can do this. They all went with me. And that's what was such a delight. That's why whenever I crossed, I had a smile on my face. I was looking for those individuals. Bill and Susan, when they got there, I didn't even know they were there until halfway through the race, and they're standing there with the Level Up banner. And it's like, you talk about an energizing moment. It was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to the next one.
Well, Billy, Andrea, huge congratulations. I am so excited for what the future holds. And for everybody tuning into this, I'll tell you, reach back to the person that brought you to this group. Ask more questions. Get in here and just see what life-giving community this group is all about, and just support and encouragement. And Billy and Andrea, you've got a heart of gold, and what you stand for and the value you add to this Level Up community is unbelievable. And thank you for setting the stage that more people can do what you guys are doing. So thank you. We love you and we appreciate you. And Andrea Rosser, thank you too.
My pleasure. Love you guys. Congratulations to you both, because I know that was a family accomplishment. So good
Absolutely.
work, and can't wait to see what you accomplish next.
Absolutely. Bright future. See you
Y'all
guys.
have a great night. Bye, guys. Good job.
Bye.